And we are live. Hey, Concrete.
Hey girl, what's going on? What's up with you?
Girl in this house. About to lose it because I'm literally from my bedroom to my living room couch, from the bed to the couch, from the bed to the couch, and
Hmm.
it's not as fun as it usually is when Curlin's here. So it's just like
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know everybody's like room hopping in their home since we're all holed up in the house. Child, I do not know how, but I'm always finding something to do. Little projects like right now, I'm just hanging stuff on the wall and switching out stuff for the bathroom. Like I don't know how, but I have not gotten bored yet. Like seriously, I'm kind of like I want a little more downtime. I can't wait. I can't wait. The only thing I think that I have left to do is my back deck. So once I'm finished with that, which everything that I've ordered will be the last few pieces will be in this week, then I should be able to sit down, child, and not do anything. Like literally just find myself bored.
okay. Well, that's always a good thing. Always,
Yeah.
always a good thing. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of me. Like, I'll go from the couch, I'll go to the bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
watch a little YouTube here. Um, and I keep saying that I'm gonna start my Netflix series, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, child, that ain't.
Wait, so you don't do you like so you're not a big TV watcher?
You know what? At
Mm-hmm.
one point I was,
Mm-hmm.
but now not so much. Not like I used to.
Yeah, I'm not a big TV watcher. I like to find stuff that myself and my fiance like that we can both watch so we can like watch it together. You know how it is when you have like a series with your boo and it's like that's y'all little date.
Yes.
Okay, let's watch whatever the series is. So I'll do stuff like that. Our tastes are kind of different, but we'll just usually settle on something that's kind of like meet in the middle, and we'll find something to watch. But other than that, I don't watch like a ton of TV in the evenings. Generally, like when I'm winding down, maybe like over dinner, I'll bring the food out on tray tables, and we might watch a show then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Does your man, are you a Trekkie or anything like that?
child, no, I hate Star Trek. I hate Star Trek. I hate Star Wars. I hate. I'm like, what I once told my man, I was like, the closest I'll get to watching any of that stuff is Spaceballs, and he was so insulted. He was like, "Have you ever seen Spaceballs?"
Once, and I
Oh
was a
my god,
little girl.
me too. I was a kid, but I remember it because it was the craziest, dumbest movie ever, and
Wait. What was the movie where Chris Rock was in, or was it Chris Rock? No, it was Chris Tucker, and it was the futuristic. Damn, I
I
can't
ain't never
remember that
seen Chris
movie.
Tucker in no futuristic movie.
Girl, yeah, Chris Tucker had on a wig and
Oh.
everything, and it was well, at the time it was hilarious. It's probably not so funny to me now. But Curlin tried to get me to sit there and watch one of these new Star Treks that came out.
Hmm.
Honey, when I say I napped good as shit.
Oh, you so mean. Listen, I cannot. He hates like what they've done to Star Wars and stuff. I tease him and I always tell him like he's a bit of a kind of like a little nerdy because he's in like, oh my gosh, he's like the comic books, the Star Trek, and he can follow it. And I'm like, I don't watch none of that type of stuff. Like, but his primary thing, he likes black exploitation. So he'll watch all the 70s black exploitation, Claudine, and what is it, the one with Superfly, and all like he'll watch
Oh,
that's
I
like
could
what he
do black
likes.
exploitation. I could
I
do that.
can I can do it. The spook that sat by the door and all that type of stuff. Those
Oh,
are the type of
okay.
movies he like.
He ain't playing around.
Not at all, child.
Leah came up with it. She said it was called The Fifth Element. Have you ever seen that?
No, I never even heard of that. Fifth Element. Mm-mm.
Girl, Chris Tucker and some other folks, child, I thought I would die. But it would kind of put you in the mind. Well, I think the kind of comedy that it would put you in the mind of is kind of like um what was the guy who played the black man? But damn, I can't, my mind is like pew. Um it was a movie where the guy was trying to, it was with Eddie Griffith.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say he was a black man, but he was trying to be white. I don't know, child. But
Something brother. It was something brother.
undercover brother.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
what it
go.
was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it kind of put me in the mind of that kind of comedy. But
Okay.
Yeah, child. I guess.
Yeah. How's your baby doing during this quarantined time? How's your son?
Concrete, lean your head in real quick.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you just fine, but just lean your
Okay.
head in real quick.
Uh-huh.
He driving me up the fucking wall. Okay.
He's probably bored. That poor baby. He probably bored out of his mind. Wish he could go visit his friends.
Yes, honey. But he's actually been a pretty good sport for the most part. For the most part, I gotta give him credit.
Good, good. Poor kids. I feel so bad for them.
Child. Oh my gosh. And I want to just kind of slap a little mask on his face and have him go outside, but
like, just to give me a break.
But ain't nobody else out there. Ain't nobody else coming out. Mm-hmm. And so it's just been one of those type of things to where just sitting around the house, watching the drama.
Yeah. Oh, listen, there's always drama in Black YouTube. You really don't need TV with Black YouTube. This is like reality show.
Facts. So that's pretty much what it's been. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's been. Everything's been going pretty good with work, which is always good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, child. Like I said, pretty good for me too. Hello to everybody in the chat. I haven't peeked in to see who's down there, but hello to you all, and thank you in advance for supporting us.
Yes, because we definitely need it. We definitely need it. Honey, I looked at everybody who was live and I was like, damn, are we gonna get anybody?
Oh, it's a lot of people live.
I won't say a lot, but pretty big.
Okay. I was listening to music while hanging pictures and stuff, so I didn't know what was going on. But this should be a light, fun, maybe a little short show, but we are going to get into it about this topic.
Who is invited to the cookout?
Yes, and this has been one that I've been wanting to do for a little while. So I think we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about who specifically is invited to the cookout. And when we say who's invited to the cookout, you guys know what we mean, right? Black people tend to whenever a white person or a person that's not Black, a non-Black person seems to be down for the cause, or, they seem to, one common thing that I notice is when they engage in ratchetry, they're always invited to the cookout. So we want to talk about it. Who's invited to the cookout? Who's not invited to the cookout, and why? So we're going to get into it today.
Girl, I notice that every time a famous white person throws on some rap music and dance, we are quick to align with them like they actually align with our issues within the Black community. And I think that is just fucking stupid, but this is my thing.
Completely agree. And even if you look at it, like, we do that on all fronts, whether it be political, like, like Bernie Sanders, like people like him being able to play, Public Enemy and play rap in order to pander to us. And for me, it's a big problem that we are so quick to invite someone in and allow someone to have a seat at the table simply because they are pandering to us. I think that it's a big issue for me. Like, I'm not with it, as most of you probably suspected, but I just don't think that it's cool that we are so willing to enable someone to have a seat at the table, adopt someone in the name of the Black delegation, say that, we want to make a trade for a non-Black person, and, getting rid of some of the coons that we've identified within our community. Now, I have no problem getting rid of those who are not in alignment with whatever a particular mission is, but I do have a problem with just allowing any and everybody to have a seat at the table.
Girl, do you remember when Hillary tried to pull that damn bottle of hot sauce out of her purse on the Breakfast Club?
Yes, I do. And I remember that. And I remember she even had, what was that? Mary J. Blige. You remember Mary J. Blige did that chicken commercial?
Girl.
Listen, look, this is what I'm saying. Like, we cannot be so quick to align ourselves with these people. I mean, I've seen the likes of, and we'll talk about, maybe who should be invited to the table versus who should not. But, for example, some of the people that I commonly see being invited to the cookout would be Ellen. I see a lot of people say Ellen. What's his name? Gary
Man, I wouldn't
Owens.
invite Ellen to my damn funeral.
Listen, I'm gonna get into it. But Gary Owens, like I said, Bernie Sanders.
I met him in person,
Gary
and
Owens.
yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
No, ma'am.
I mean, I want to just name a few people, and I'm going to get into how I feel personally about who should be invited and who shouldn't. I do believe that there's a such thing as white allies. I do, you know what I mean? So I do want to put that out there. There is a such thing as, having allies. But does that mean that they get to come in, kick their feet up, walk throughout your house as if they're family? I mean, I think that, we need to be able to differentiate between aligning yourself with someone and saying, oh, okay, that's a cool person. They down for the cause. They've proven themselves to be for the Black community, and, trusting them, trusting them with any and everything that you say, like trusting them to come into your home and be privy to whatever goes on inside your home. I think that, there needs to be some distinguishing identifiers as to, what that means when we say who's invited to the cookout and who's invited, if anyone, and, what should they be privy to, because we're inviting them to the cookout and enabling them to join us for a gathering of sorts. Hypothetically, meaning figuratively, excuse me.
Curlin said if you pay attention, most of us can tell who's pandering and who's sincere. What do you think about that?
In my opinion, I don't think that most of us can tell, because I think that we are so divided on who we let in and who we shouldn't. But I think that for me, the safest thing to do is when you see, well, let's say when you've identified someone who is for the Black community, admitting and speaking openly about the fact that this person appears to be an ally, but I still feel like there are certain things that they should never be privy to. In my opinion, just because I've identified that you're an ally does not mean that you get to sit at the table, for me. So it's kind of like an associate. I look at it like an associate. And for people who are not familiar with the term, it's kind of like a friendship level, kind of like maybe an associate might be someone you work with. Let's say a coworker that sits close to you, or their office is right near you. So maybe you guys chat casually, maybe every once in a while, you might peep your head in and there may be some information that you need pertaining to your job. You might have missed a meeting because you were out. So, hey, can you fill me in on what's going on? That would be my comfort level with someone that I identify as an ally. That doesn't mean we're going to lunch together. I'm going to be telling you about my personal business. I'm going to involve you in the planning of anything that I'm doing for my family and things of that nature.
Okay. Um, I kind of see issues with us. Because we brought up the point that we align ourselves too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But even when people are saying that they are fighting for Black issues and the Black community and stuff, it'll be like you'll have these politicians or just like Michael Rappaport. I can't stand
Mm-hmm.
Michael Rappaport. Oh my gosh. But they'll get on, they'll do this little ratchet shit for a minute. We'll
Mm-hmm.
claim them, and I mentioned Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. Well, I didn't mention Bill Clinton, but I remember my mom thought Bill Clinton was the best fucking president ever.
Really?
Yeah, initially. But I had to school her. I was like, my, look how many people this man had locked up. But we didn't know. I think while he was in office that he had actually had all those people locked up. And I think it was either him or, yeah, I think it was him that was responsible for the 3-strike rule. Am I
Mm-hmm.
right?
3 strike law. He passed a lot of laws that were um biased in nature and targeting of Black people. Him and his wife, calling
Right.
Black people super predators, and there's a, unless you are following politics, you might not know how detrimental some of these people in positions of power are to us. But my issue is that we will find someone who's engaged in the most ratchet behaviors and say stuff like, "Oh, he's Black." Like, people have said Bill Clinton's the first Black president because
Right.
he was getting fellatio in the White House. Like, that is insulting to us as a people. You know what I mean? Like, I absolutely hate when people, other Black people, want to align themselves with such degrading and negative and embarrassing behavior. Like, that does not make you a Black man, because I think that is, it's insulting to Black men to say that Bill Clinton is the first Black president because of him getting head in the White House. And like, what is that saying about Black men?
Girl, what about these women who are Black when it's convenient, but
Mm,
otherwise Latina? And
good point too.
so I think about like Cardi B.
Hmm.
Remember when Miley Cyrus was heavily aligned with hip hop culture?
Hmm.
When she made her money, she went right back to the other side of the fence and was like,
Absolutely.
that music is too
Absolutely.
misogynistic.
Hmm. Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to be more weary of aligning ourselves with anybody who seems down for the cause, or anybody who's listening to hip hop and culturally appropriating. That does not mean that you get a seat at the table. That does not mean that you are invited to the. It should not mean that you are invited to the cookout. It should not mean that we even deem you as someone who is in alignment with us. Like, I have an issue with it.
Yeah, I do too. Hold on a second. Um, yeah, I just think we are very, very open, and people don't really have to earn a certain thing from Black
Mm.
people to get Black people's alignment with them or to get Black people's support.
You know what? That would be like, I've never seen, and I grew up in a all white environment, but just, white people aren't giving out seats to people because you listen to Bruce Springsteen or Green Day or Maroon
Girl, you saw
5.
what they tried to do to the little boy. They tried to kick his ass out.
Who? Oh, Nas X.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
That's
He
what I'm
thought he had a
saying.
little hit song and shit, and they was
Yeah.
like, "Oh hell no!"
Hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that means nothing to them. They're not going to accept you. You're not getting a seat at the table because you listen to the same types of music that they listen to. Like, uh, we need to have more of a set standard. We should have more of a. First of all, we need to be more in alignment with one another. Secondly, we should have a higher set of standards. Just because you know, you like, what's the guy's name? Chet Hanks. Do you know who that is?
Yes, isn't that's Tom Hanks' son, right?
Yeah, did you see what he was doing a few weeks back? Like the whole, he was imitating like Jamaican culture, but he was talking in like a Jamaican patois and kept making
Yeah.
all of these videos talking in this Jamaican patois. And, I would see on different media sites and stuff that, Black people, first of all, he was talking in a Jamaican patois, to be fair. What I saw was, and I've seen things like this within our community too, lots of, like large numbers of people who are of Jamaican and Caribbean, West Indian descent, defending what he was doing, saying that we Black people are too sensitive and, they don't mind, that they enjoy it, that it, like that they were annoyed by the fact that there were some Black people who were speaking out against it and saying what he was doing was cultural appropriation. It was wrong. It was insulting. They felt offended that other Black people were speaking up for them.
Now, if you
Like,
say
wow.
Jamaican men cheat or Jamaicans ain't something, girl, they'll be on your ass like white on potatoes in a snowstorm on a paper plate. Jesus Christ. So
Listen,
it's
it's baffling to
funny.
me. You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem. Which, when I speak to when I'm speaking, I'm generally talking to us, so ADOS people, but I'm for all Black people, period. But I'm, specifically talking to us because that's something that I commonly see us doing. I don't see people of other cultures saying, and that's the terminology we use. Oh, he is invited to the cookout. That's a Black thing. That's an ADOS thing.
Yes. So let me ask you this question. If Black people were more aligned with each other, do you think we would have the same willingness to accept people from other races, or how do you feel about that?
Well, I think that we won't ever be able to be aligned because and that's one of the reasons. I think that most of us have been deeply indoctrinated because we go to their schools. We're affected by their media. We are, in a sense, the indoctrination starts very early on for most of us. So I think that it's hard to undo. We're in school, from the time that we're either 15 years. So it's hard to undo 15 years of indoctrination in order for us all to be on the same page. I went through indoctrination. My children have also gone through indoctrination, but I can see from generation to generation how much stronger the indoctrination is. When I talk to my children about certain causes, specifically, one thing in particular would be like the alphabet people. So when I
Mhm.
talk to my children about it, they are certainly far more liberal in their views than I am in mine. And I think that part of that is also, I attribute that to their, the indoctrination. So yeah, it's hard to undo that. And I think that that's a large part of why it's difficult for us to be in alignment with one another.
How can you distinguish who, excuse me, how can you distinguish between who actually should have an invite versus who shouldn't?
Personally, I wouldn't invite to any non-Black person. That's just me. Like I said, I do think as allies. I do think that, and we need allies. That's a good thing. But I keep the relationship as a relationship. I wouldn't make it personal to my cookout because that's a personal thing. I read with someone who himself to be aligned. I think it's a wonderful thing. I will, be outspoken about the fact that you've shown yourself to be an ally, but you ain't getting an invite to the cookout from me. It's certain Black people
So
that I
what
don't want
about
to come
like,
to the
okay, so
cookout.
you remember, oh my
I'm
God.
saying I don't trust everybody, but
Concrete,
go
ain't
ahead.
nobody can do for me. Okay,
Listen,
so,
go ahead.
okay. So, you had white people that actually fought against slavery and stuff, right?
Yeah, for their own personal reasons, but yeah. So okay, so I'll let you finish your point.
No, but you had white people who actually fought in the Civil War for the sides of Black people. You would
They weren't
I guess
fighting for
I,
black people. No, I disagree with that point. I'm sorry. What's okay? Let me let you answer the full question before I formulate a
girl, you didn't
response.
already answer it. I already knew the answer before I even thought about the question because I'm like, all right, no, no,
No, like,
no.
let's not get it twisted. They weren't fighting to ensure that we were free because they had such bleeding hearts, and they felt what they were doing was so wrong. That in and of itself proves nothing to me. I think that there was something that happened a while back, and I saw a meme going around on social media, and it was in reference to how many of us, like the number of us that love inviting people to the cookout. There was some issue, and I can't even remember what it was, but it was kind of referring to how many of those people that we invite to the cookout are actually standing up and being vocal about our issues. And there's like probably a very, very small amount, if any. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's how you see who is an ally. You know what I mean? When in the face of whatever issues we're dealing with publicly, who is going to be vocal and speak out and say, no, what y'all doing to black people is wrong. Black people deserve reparations. Like who is fighting for, fighting for issues that are impact our community.
So, okay, I want to say it was Pablo who asked this question in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Did Tina Marie come to the cookout?
Um,
I would invite
listen,
Tina Marie ass to the cookout,
I like
honey.
Tina Marie. I do like Tina Marie. I've actually had this discussion with my partner. For me, she can't get an invite though. But I do like Tina Marie. She's cool. She cool. But she ain't getting an invite.
So let me ask you, okay, so you do have excuse me, you do have the others that
Mm-hmm.
may have grown up just like Black people, um,
Mm-hmm.
may really be able to align with Black issues, may actually fight about Black issues, no, we shouldn't do this to Black people, you wouldn't invite them to the cookout either.
No. And I'm going to tell you why. So let me add a little bit of clarity, because y'all might just be like, oh my gosh, she's a tyrant. She doesn't, that's not the case.
Child,
The
that
re-
cookout is gonna be black and
Listen, I'm telling you, and there's some black people that ain't getting the invite. But listen, my reasoning is simple.
she over
So
there with paper bag test and shit.
no, no. Listen, if you black phenotypically, like even Hispanics, if you're black Hispanic, you're black to me. Like Cardi B is a black woman to me. She may not realize it, or she may not only realize it when it's convenient for her, but she says she black. But what I was
She
gonna say
ain't black to
is
me.
see, I mean, and that's fine. Like it's
Mm-mm. And
we're
because I identify people's, it's like you can have a certain experience, but
mhm.
Black people do get treated a certain way outside of other races of people.
You don't think Cardi B, prior to being well known, has dealt with the same set of experiences that other Black people have in this country?
She has dealt with some of the
Hmm.
same experiences, but not the total experience
I
because,
get you.
yeah, and like,
But you know what? When you say that, and there was a point that I wanted to make about why
mhm.
certain people aren't invited to non-Black people aren't invited to the cookout. But let me say this first. Um, I think that the same thing is applicable to even like Africans, people, that are people that are not of Western origin, people that were not born, in the Western Hemisphere, don't necessarily identify. Black people who are not born in the Western Hemisphere don't necessarily identify with our struggle. I've heard people of African descent say that we need to get over slavery, and say, like, famous African people are vocal about the fact that they think that, we are that we need to get over it. It happened hundreds of years ago. Like, they don't even necessarily understand our struggles. So I do believe that there are Black people, and like I said, I consider Cardi B Black, who just don't identify with every aspect of our struggle. However, here in the States and in most countries, they would still face the same discrimination as any ADOS person would.
Girl, do you
What?
hear it?
What?
The freaking the ice cream truck is outside. Okay.
No,
I don't know. I
I
really don't
can't hear
know.
it. I can't hear it. But I wanted to add a little bit of clarity to something really quick. So as far as like people being invited to the cookout, so even the one or two, non-Black people who were brought up in the hood, their allegiance, their primary allegiance, is going to be to their non-Blackness, should a situation arise that forces them that where they have to choose. For example, let's say we invited all of these people to the cookout. And during the cookout, we're talking about plans for our future and how we as a people are going to move forward and, get what we're owed. Maybe those plans involve action. Do you not think that if the non-Black person sees our plans as a threat to their non-Blackness, and or something that could impact the people that they love that are not Black, that they're not going to go and reveal that information to, other people? uh, i'm trying to I'm trying to make a point without being too forward. So I think that if something threatens their non-Blackness, in essence, they are not going to keep it a secret, or they're not going to, not even necessarily be in alignment with whatever plans that we're attempting to make, because it could impact their position in our society.
I remember seeing a white girl, and she used to be one of those hood white chicks, and she says nigga and this, that, and the
Oh
third.
no, sis. But go ahead.
Listen. So I think she went to court, and honey, hello, my name is Ashley, and I don't know what happened. And sounded real meek and everything. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
she was putting her non-Blackness to work for herself.
Yeah, I honestly think brothers should stay away from those specific types. I think they're very dangerous. Those specific types. I think they're very dangerous. So
But like I said, and these are my opinions. You guys know I have strong opinions when it comes to my people, and I don't apologize for it. But you guys are entitled to feel differently, and why don't we open it up and see what the people have to say?
let's open it up, child. Let's open it up. They gonna invite all the white girls to the cookout. Where the white women?
Look, that's exactly what they're gonna have. Nuruddin standing up holding a sign at the front of
He's
the
in the
cookout.
chat too. Shout out to Nira like this.
Where they at?
Why the white women's at? But yeah, she went and put on a really, really big. Here go Roger, child.
Oh, I'm about to go. All right, I'm gonna head out.
Roger said most sisters don't even deserve to be at the cookout.
Well. You know what? I feel like this is my other thing, and that's why I said not all of us even, should get an invite. Just like I said, those people who are going to do whatever to protect their position in society. I also believe that people who are partnered with those people, people who are dating outside of the race, you can't tell me you're not going to be pillow talking should plans involve action. You're going to go home and tell your wife, who's going to tell her mom, and the alarms will be rang. So that's what I'm saying. Not even all of us ain't even getting an invite.
Hello, we'd like to welcome to the show Donnie the Great and the Roger Report. Long live the habit.
Hey, Donnie and Roger.
Hey, ladies, how y'all doing?
Hey.
Great.
What's happening? What's happening?
I just want to say Roger shouldn't be invited to the cookout.
Roger can't come.
Roger gonna hold up a sign in the front saying black women are bad people.
That movie.